Welcome to Girona, or Santa Coloma de Farnes to be exact. We've been here for a few days riding, having fun, and appropriately we've got some Spanish news in a new bike from Unica with a Marley motor in it.
Yes, and Jonesy has been checking out the new Pivot Shuttle.
Well, actually, this is the place where Steve was recently with Rob Warner for the Giant Rain E video. If you haven't watched that, check that out. I know a lot of people have been asking about that location. So he's up in these hills. There are some amazing trails all around this area, particularly for e-bikes and enduro bikes as well, Rich.
Yeah,
and you've been tasting a bit of that this week.
Yeah, and also Steve has been looking at the parts that come on bikes, or more importantly, the decisions that affect what parts are being spec'd by manufacturers. So more on that. Here's Steve from church.
So we talk about eMTBs on a weekly basis here on this channel. I thought it was about time we got up close to some of these bikes to see what they were all about. I'm here today with the Pivot Shuttle. Now, the Pivot Shuttle has been around, crikey, it must be around 7-8 years now. Isn't it funny how you associate the names of bikes with the things you do? I think shuttle for me is very much a thing that you use to get me to the top of the hill and so you can ride back down again. I think e-mountain bikes are probably much more of a bigger thing to more people. But I'm going to talk about the shuttle. I'm going to talk about 10 things about this Shuttle AM, which we have here. But I think the first thing to cover is the fact that actually the Pivot Shuttle comes in so many versions. You've got, first of all, the Shuttle LT, which is 160, 170mm travel with the Bosch CX race motor in the Pro and Team, or the CX motor for the lower price point bike. That bike comes with mixed wheel size, 29, 27.5, 800 watt hour battery, and geometry to suit a bike which is slightly longer travel. For example, 63.6 on the head angle, a shorter chainstay on this bike, and definitely a bike built for sort of enduro style riding. Then you have the Pivot Shuttle SL AM, which is a bike with actually the Bosch SX motor, which is 55 Newton meters, smaller capacity battery, you've got 400 watt hours there, also a 250 watt hour range extender. And then one bike which we really enjoyed riding a few years ago, which is the Shuttle SL, which has got the faveroute 60 Newton meter motor with a 480 watt hour battery. Now the Shuttle SL is actually 132mm travel with either 140 or 150mm travel up front. But today, folks, we've got in focus the Pivot Shuttle AM. Now this is a 150mm travel, 160mm up front bike. So I want to tell you 10 things that you need to know about this bike. Okay, folks, 10 must-know facts about the Pivot Shuttle AM. Now, as I go through the list, you could argue that some of the things I talk about you could apply to any e-mountain bike on the market. So hopefully it'll give you a bit of an insight into some of the decisions you might need to take when you buy an eMTB. Now, the first factor to take into account is the suspension travel. This bike is 150mm rear, 160mm travel up front. Remember, the Pivot also comes in a 160, 170 LT version. You've got the SL version with the faveroute motor, which is 132mm travel on the rear and 140 or 150mm up front. Now, the great thing about having different bikes is we all ride in different places. So we actually rode the faveroute, the Shuttle SL out in the Alps in the famous ski resort of Kitzbühel, and I absolutely loved that bike because it was lively, it was punchy. Even though it had not very much travel on the rear, I just loved the way the suspension popped through the terrain. So I think all these bikes have different ride characteristics, which is a great reason for you to go to a test event to try them all out. Number 2 is the wheel size. This bike comes with 29 front and 29 inch on the rear. However, it does have the option of running a MX, a 27.5 wheel size on the rear too. Interestingly, through the different price points, which I'll come on to a little bit later, is some bikes have got alloy wheels and other bikes have got carbon fibre. Turning our attention now to the heart of the bike, which is the Bosch eMTB system. Now, this bike comes with the Bosch CX Race. The CX Race comes on the Pro and Team versions. Those bikes are a little bit more expensive than the Ride versions. The Ride actually comes with a CX motor. So when you're looking at the power, now this motor has now been uprated to 100 Newton meters and 750 watts peak power. The difference between the CX and the CX Race is the fact that the CX Race gives you lots of power in a short space of time. So it's really good for the more attacking style terrain where it's steppy, it's steep, and it's really aggressive. But to be honest, folks, the CX is a really good motor as it is. Battery capacity, you've got 800 watt hour battery in the down tube there with the option of a range extender. There's the new Kiox display on the top tube, which you'll see in the images, hopefully. And in as much as there's the eMTB system on the bike, I think the third point which I'd like to talk about is the fact that for many people, it's the off-bike stuff, the stuff such as the app which gives you your service interval, the ability to see a dealer for Bosch and Pivot, and such things as real-time range, and that whole updating business is a really good backup which Bosch provide. Okay, where are we next? Number 5. Now, the Shuttle actually has the ability to run the Fox Live Valve Neo, which is an electronic suspension setup on the bike, both front and rear. A really cool system for enabling you to get the most of your eMTB in both a downhill and an uphill scenario. It's not totally my cup of tea. I like to be in charge of what the suspension is doing, but for anybody that's looking to get the microseconds and the right sort of balance front and rear of a ride, I think it's a really good piece of kit to have. Now, on the subject of getting the most out of the bike, this bike comes with adjustable geometry via a flip chip, so you've got a high and low setting. It's interesting to look at the geometry of, say, this AM bike compared to the LT bike. Now, this bike's got a 444mm chainstay, whereas the LT bike has got a 439mm chainstay. Although the LT version has actually got a longer wheelbase, this bike has got a longer chainstay. So you could argue that the AM version, because of the longer chainstay, might actually have the edge in an uphill scenario. But I think the message is, you know, this bike is adjustable for your needs. Now, come on to my next point, which I think is a really cool feature, which I'd like to see on more eMTBs, is the bike comes with a suspension setup calculator based on your rider weight. So you just type in your rider weight and it'll give you the settings for your shock absorber and your fork up front. It's also got a setup guide in general for the bike. Next point is sizing. This bike is a size large, and it says that it suits riders from 178 to 188 mil height. So if you look at some of the geometry numbers on this bike, I think this is the kind of bike with the kind of numbers that suits my height. Really interesting on pricing, actually, because I want to point out as well is that the Fox Live Valve Neo is available on the higher end bikes. But when it comes to the pricing, this bike goes from around about $8,000, I think it's $8,400 to the top end bike, which is around about $16,000. I mean, is the $8,000 bike half the bike? Absolutely not. But that comes down to the component specification. And my point number 10 is actually the frame material. Now, the Pivot Shuttle AM comes with a range of frame materials. Some bikes have got the carbon front end and the carbon swinging arm, whereas the lower price point bikes have got a mix of carbon front end and alloy on the rear. And so too some of the component specifications you might see, so such as the lower price point bikes have got aluminium wheels, whereas the higher price point has got the carbon fiber wheels. I really, it's a really nice bike. It's been a while since I rode the Pivot Shuttle. I think for me, it's the geometry, it's the suspension design, it's the feeling you get from riding a bike, which is as important as some of those numbers. But if you want to see some people riding this bike fast, I'm sure you've already seen Jill Kintner and Bryn Atkinson giving this bike full beans. So there's a very basic overview of the Pivot Shuttle. I'm about to go and give this bike a spin because I'm genuinely interested to see how all eMTBs react on the trail. Got one of my favourite forks, the Zeb up front there. And yeah, any questions, let us know in the comments and hopefully I can help you answer them.
Pivot, cool brand. They've got some top riders on their board, including Bernard Kerr and Bryn Atkinson and Jill Kintner as well.
Yeah, some absolute shredders on the team.
Rich, I know you've got some experience with Fox Live Valve Neo, the electronic suspension that reacts to the terrain.
Agree, yeah.
I've not ridden it at all, so give us the lowdown. I know it's just got, what, accelerometers, all sorts of sensors that tell this shot what to do.
I mean, you're picking my brains on all the tech aside. So I've got it on an Orbea Rayon, which is a non-e-bike.
Yeah.
You know, it's an enduro bike from Orbea, and it does have that. So it has a sensor essentially on each brake.
I've seen that, yeah, the little black dial.
Runs off a watch battery, a 3032 or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, accelerometers, I think angulometers, I'm not sure if that's a word, right? So essentially, you know, pitch of the bike, braking forces, and that chats to the rear shock and firms it up, locks. It doesn't lock it out solidly, but essentially like locks it out more, unlocks it when you need to, and you can then tune that in the live Valve app.
Go into the app and decide what parameters you want it to do.
Yeah, so because I've tuned mine, I've set it up so actually it needs quite a clunk, quite a force essentially to open it, so that when I'm pedaling, there's no bob or anything.
And do you have any sensation of it doing things? Can you hear it, feel it, or
you can feel it when it unlocks, because I've got mine set up how it is. Like it's sort of like quite an almost breakaway force required to to open the valve essentially. Moving on, Unica bikes. I've not heard of these, Neil. These are new to me, but this bike, you know, is born from a commitment to craftsmanship and precision. Cova is the result of Unica bikes' artisanal philosophy combined with the intelligent performance of the new Marley M40.
I find that I've not heard those sort of words. You know, that's sort of I'd expect a handmade steel bike or something like that to have craftsmanship and artisanal.
Artisanal, yeah.
I think it's interesting. So it's lightweight. It's got the climb motor. Yeah, 105 Newton meters of torque.
Power.
And it's got an 850 watt-hour battery. It's got interesting sort of graphics, this bike. I think it does stand out from most of the bikes we see here on the Embn Show. So
it doesn't look terrible by any means, and the numbers seem bang on. I don't know the geometry numbers, but I mean, you know, it's always good to know how one of these rides though, right?
And then, Marley Motor I've heard really good things about as well. And there aren't that many bikes with them on either. So I think
Marley quite new?
Well, that motor is, yes, but you know, when I saw them at Eurobike last year, they had them on like a few sort of other smaller brands. They actually had like a see-through frame as well, showing off the system. They didn't have many bigger bike brands on it, and this obviously Unica is not a big bike brand, but I think this is quite a cool step forward for Marley.
105 Newton meters is some good power output there. Nice. Feedback time. Now this is all about you, where you went up on a climbing challenge against Connor from GCN.
Yeah, I kind of misjudged this. I think in the video I expect this to be quite close, but I think just the route. So I had a really steep climb up Revs bike park. Whereas Connor's was very nice, but it's much more gradual. So I ended up winning by quite a long way. And obviously the commenters have picked up on that.
Do you want me to read this one out?
Yeah, go for it.
Go on then. So this is Dead Can Disco, sorry. Would love to see a very long gravel challenge where everything is equal. Same exact route, distance and grade. E-bikes have motor assist, but they top off at 25 kph, that's over here, and have limited range. Road bikes can go faster, but the ride can get worn out and start to lose power over time. It'd be interesting to see the results from a long run.
Yeah, I think it turns out, it's quite hard to find courses that are, harder than I thought, to find courses that are equal.
Yeah.
And actually Alex says e-bike would get destroyed by any decent rider on the road. You can easily hold over 50 miles an hour on gravel. The only saving grace would be a lot of inclines or unrideable descents, which it would have been if we'd have ridden the same thing. You know, Connor wouldn't be able to do it. So Niels actually says it would be, I'm not quite sure why they thought an e-bike on a steep road versus a road bike would even be close in the first place, the whole thing, including Neil's ability is in the e-bike's favour. Also, while Connor used to be a world tour pro, he was never a hill climb specialist. Oh, that hurts.
Wow.
That hurts.
Wow.
Which is true.
And
But he was a pro roadie. He raced the Tour de France.
That's not bad, is it? It's not bad.
Yeah.
Do you want one more?
Go on.
This is from Stefan Mav. To call it a challenge is ridiculous, but you can make it one by letting Neil ride the road bike and Connor the eMTB and add the times. Oh, okay.
That would probably be quite a good...
That's a good leveler.
I would be okay on the road bike, nowhere near as fast as Connor, but I'm not sure Connor would be that fast on a mountain bike.
Yes, that's a great way of doing it. We should bear that in mind. Thank you, actually. That's a good comment in a way.
Yeah, thanks for your feedback. Cool places. Craig N has been out first ride. We see a lot of first rides.
Yeah.
50% off on a transition regulator, the Avon Skyline, typical
That's
Welsh
good.
weather. The Bosch Gen 5 motor definitely got me through all those tech climbs.
It's a good looking bike, that.
I've not ridden Avon on an e-bike, but it is pretty tough loop up there, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Some spectacular riding, and that bike looks bang. Do we super nice them?
No, not in cool places, Rich. We soak up the inspiration from the photos.
I like that though. That's a cool picture. Thank you. Dell 1970. Me and the wife have tried a variety of bikes. Previously been on Bike Vault trying to obey a wild Dolby.
Oh, nice.
However, I've ended up purchasing 2 new Santa Cruz, Bullet and Vala.
Somebody's doing well.
Yeah. Hang on, where is it? He says. This is our first. Yeah.
Near Three Brethren, near Selkirk.
That's a great picture, isn't it?
I'm sure it's cool up there as well.
Yeah, look at that.
Next up,
points.
Marco Pavsek. This is New South Wales, Wallara National Park. This is a beautiful, rugged coastline just south of Newcastle. It's been a while since I've been on the show, and Marco's been on before. I formed the Hunter eMTB riders that have been featured on the show many times.
Yeah,
nice
that's a great picture, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stunning. This next one's from Tommy Sorfer in Germany, and he says Germany has a sign for every situation.
No wildies. No wildies allowed. What bike is that? It's a cube.
No, Blurman, you're right.
Is that a cool place or is that a shit place?
I think it's the latter on that one, mate. And then finally from Paul, a Sunday ride in Colorado. All right, show off.
Oh, it's nice.
Let's just show it.
I've just started watching Yellowstone actually on the way out here.
Have you?
Yeah, very good. I want to go places like that.
With your e-bike?
Ride a horse probably. Yeah. Right into the bike vault where we do give them super nice, which feel free. Order nice.
Oh, all right.
Kjeld van der Broek is riding a high bike all mountain CF11 TRN stroke IQ.
Yeah, it's a great looking bike, isn't it?
Snappily named. Pinion MGU high bike, more easily known as, I suppose.
Plenty of upgrades on that. I'm a big fan of that pinion system on e-bikes.
Yeah, I've not ridden it.
I would like to try. I haven't. I should make that clear. I haven't, but just on an e-bike, that seems to make sense. So that's a great one from Kjeld.
Kjeld also says it makes it look, well, the bike looks like a Renault Clio Williams. Do you remember what that is?
Yeah, no, I definitely do, yeah.
Good looking old Clio.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Jack Ambler.
Super nice.
Oh, that is a super nice, yeah. God, I got carried away.
Yeah.
Jack Ambler on a Scott Genius E-Ride 900 tuned.
Oh, Warncliffe.
Warncliffe in Sheffield here in the UK. A ride a day keeps the demons at bay.
I've ridden a bit round there. I know some really techie stuff. You've ridden in Grenoside or Warncliffe?
A long time ago. Our lad James over on GMBN obviously knows that area very well. Yeah, great picture. That's it's a nice, because it's non-drive sides.
Okay. Those rules don't apply here, Rich, but I'll take the nice. Chopsticks has been riding Penny Van Park. Oh, it's a caravan park.
There's a person in this picture. You don't do that, do you, over here?
On the Amflow.
There's a person in it.
Oh, it's not Penny Fan, it's Penurfan. Penurfan. Steve would tell me off already. So I guess you've been riding the Gap. but we don't know. We'll give
That's nice.
Here we are.
That is a nice. Adrian's picture of my Orbea Wild 2023 off the coast of Torrevieja.
I think you're right there, yeah.
I think on that.
In Spain?
Yeah.
don't mind the mismatched tyres, you rich nut like this.
No, and
the
it's
rears are basically bold, while the fronts were in good condition. So I bought that tan wall rear tyre with a full black front tyre.
Yeah. I mean, my hair matches the same, really, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think that qualifies for super nice, although it is an all-bear wild.
It is,
you know,
but it's lovely. That is nice. That is nice.
eMTB Rich. This is my new Cube Stereo Hybrid SLX 800. Who has the longer names, High Bike or Cube? It's a toss-up. My first eMTB, took it to Bike Park Wales for my first real outing and love it. Owned it for about 3 weeks and done 150 miles.
Nice. It's nice again.
Oh, it's a tough crowd.
Sorry, I'm being a bit harsh maybe, but it's nice. And then Jim Bob, it's a custom Santa Cruz Heckler SL.
This doesn't get a super nice.
I haven't seen the picture yet. I'm scrolling. This is the first ride back at Loch Audi in Dunkeld after fracturing my T8 vertebrae.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's pretty super nice.
Oh,
actually,
that's one heck of seat post. That's like your level seat post.
That is. Yeah, that's super nice. I like the lock, the stone wall. Yeah, thank you very much. As always, a link to the uploader is in the description down below. Please do keep your bikes coming in because we do like to see them.
On the socials this week, Rich, I thought was really interesting. Actually, I heard you talking about this. I've stolen this one. It's called Crank eMTB. So you can convert your e-bike into an analog bike, if that's what we call it. So it's like a bit like the Martin Mays or Bayer Wild downhill
like the
bike,
test rig, yeah,
where they made that thing to hold in a bottom bracket essentially. So it could be. I don't know how many bikes this is made for just yet. I presume, well, it depends on what motor, I suppose.
I'm torn. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I think this is pretty niche, but I think some people will like this. If they have a bike, it completely depends on where you live or ride. Maybe you ride, in the summer you ride this one place where you want a shuttle bike, or you're living in Whistler, you can use a ski lift all year, all summer, and then in winter you want an e-bike. But obviously swapping around, take the battery out, the motor out, it's probably...
That's a lot of hassle, that. I don't really understand enough. I don't take enough e-bikes apart to know like the internal shenanigans where making this swap would be easy.
Well, the actual motor and battery out on most bikes is not a massive deal, but then you've got sort of a wiring loom that's going to rattle around unless you do something with it. So I think it's a case by case use basis, but I'd like to try this. I reckon it would be an interesting thing.
Cranky. Right, coming up on eMBN this week, we're going to take a look at the hottest bikes of 2026, which is quite exciting.
And on Sunday, I attempt to ride all of the back trails here in Santa Coloma de Farnes, and it starts a bit like this. Yeah. It got slightly better as we went on, but I've got a very sore back still. But anyway, that's coming on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Leave comments down below.
See ya.